Hi everyone, it's Sunday again and I'm back with another tutorial, and today I'm going to show you how to move a car like this by using a built-in physics engine of GDevelop 5. Alright, as usual I prepared the project for this tutorial. You can actually download it on itch.io as well, and let me just play it and show you what we can do here. So obviously we have our car, we can go back and forward. We can jump with the car if we want and adjust its angle in the air. But you know, this is very fun because it's all physics based. You never know what will happen next. You can add some obstacles here and things like that. So yeah, this is pretty fun, and trust me, this is not hard at all to make. So let me show you immediately how we can do this. Alright, so this is my empty project. I have no events here. I just have my assets imported already. I have my car body, I have my front and back wheel, platforms and so on. And let me show you how I set up my project. So basically this is the thing you need to look at. So this is 1240 for 720 pixels. That's the dimension of this scene here. And the first thing I want to do is build my track on which my car will be moving, and I will be building it by using these blocks, these platforms. And the way I'm gonna do it, I'll just, you know, copy paste this and maybe, you know, start to rotate these objects. Nothing crazy here. And let me just build something very quickly. I'll just speed up this part of the video, but you understand what I'm trying to do here, so you can create your own. It doesn't matter if it doesn't look like mine here, right? So yeah, let me build something and then we go ahead. Okay, something like this, and you know, just to make it a little bit nicer, I'll just add these pillars that basically they didn't do nothing, but it just looks a bit nicer. I'll just make sure they are under my platforms, so I'll set it to be the order 0, and I just put here and there some of it. Okay, something like this. It looks like a roller coaster or something like similar. But yeah, this is gonna be fun. So the first thing I want to do here, obviously, we need to add our car. So I'll just, you know, add my car body, and I add my wheels. So I have a back wheel and I have a front wheel. It doesn't really matter how we place them right now. Here we can actually do like this, just to get a sense of how the car might look, but we don't really need that, right? So because we will, through events, we will attach everything in the right places and so on. So first of all, we need to set up some points on our car body. So I already have a few, so let me just zoom out a little bit. So obviously I have origin and center points, so those are kind of in the middle of my sprite. I also have back wheel and front wheel, so you see back wheel is here and front wheel is here. And I have also backlight and front light, because I will add like some lights to this car as well. So, you know, this is really easy. If you want to add a point to this sprite, you just do that, little plus here, you name your point, you know, and you just, it usually appears here in the left top corner, you just move it anywhere you need, right? So that's how I created all of these, just to make sure you understand how to do that, okay? So let me remove this point, I don't need it. But you will definitely need back wheel and front wheel, right? So because you want to attach your wheels to these points here, okay? Close, apply, so that's cool. And on the wheel, we obviously need to edit our origin and center points, and we need to place them right in the middle of the sprite, because this is where the wheel will be attached to the car. Okay, once you set up all your points, we actually need to add some physics behaviors to all of these objects, because we need to attach all of this together, and we basically need to build our car. Okay, so we'll start by just double clicking on car body, behaviors, add behavior, and we add physics engine. Okay, so yes, you have a bunch of options here, but I will try to explain you the ones we really need here. So the first one, we leave type as dynamic because this thing will need to move, right? So we can leave everything here as it is. The shape is a box, it's fine. The shape meaning like what's the shape of the hitbox, basically, right? So, and we can set up it here. We can set up the width and height of our hitbox, and this will be the square with which all the other physics objects will be interacting with, and this will also dictate how heavy our object is, right? So, but we can modify it here. So I don't want this hitbox, this box, to be all over my sprite. So let me hit apply. So you see, we have this box here. So that's how currently is set it up if we don't use any values there. So this is the box with which everything will be interacting. But I want it to be a little bit smaller. I want it maybe to be like a rectangle here in the middle, right? So how do we do that? We just change these values, and I say it should be 500 for 300. So that's going to be smaller than the box you saw before. And we want to add some density here because, you know, the car is heavy. I want it to be a little bit more heavy than this box will dictate, right? So I'll put it like maybe 3. Okay, we don't need to touch these values for now. I mean, we can leave all of that how it is and just add apply. So once we've done all of that, you know, we set up this object as being a physics object. Let me put it here. So if I hit play, it will just fall. So because it doesn't recognize this as a platform, and you know, we didn't do much here. Okay, so let me just show you how we can set this as a platform. We just choose one of these. It's the same object, so it's gonna apply it to all the platforms. So I go to behaviors, and obviously also here I add physics engine, and I set type as static because it just stays there. Okay. So remember, you cannot do this. This is what I tried the first time I used physics engine. You cannot set it up as a platform because physics engine object interacts with another physics engine object, not with the platform. That's for other stuff. So once I've added here static physics engine object, what you will see now, it will just fall in there, but actually interact with it. Okay, so that's a good start. But we don't have wheels, right? So we need to attach those. So first thing I want to do, as you know, we just have this small window here. Everything is so big, we don't see the full scene. Let me just actually set up the camera for this project properly. So first of all, I want my camera to follow my car body. So I'll just type camera center X position equals, and I will be using lerp functionality for this, so I make my camera smooth. If you do not sure what I'm doing here, you can watch these tutorials. So lerp current camera position X, that's the starting point, and it will follow the car body X, and this is the time it will take, 0.5, something like that. Yes, I forgot this. Okay, so that's cool. We just say OK, and the same thing we will do for Y position, so just copy and paste this. Change here camera center Y position, and here whenever you see X, we change it to Y. Okay. So now the camera should follow smoothly our car. Okay, that's cool. But everything is too big. I also want to zoom out a little bit. So I just create another condition, and I say at the beginning of the scene, I will zoom out a little bit. So just type here zoom, change camera zoom, and something like 0.4. Okay, it should work pretty nicely. Let's see. Okay, that's cool. So that's a good setup. So now we can work with our wheels actually. So in order to start to attach our wheels to our car, we need to set these objects as physics objects as well. So we just add the behavior to the front wheel, physics engine, okay, and we need to set up a few things here as well. So the difference will be that we will be choosing another shape here, so it's gonna be circle, and unless you want to make square wheels. But yeah, let's select circle, and this part changes because we need to just set up the radius, so of our hitbox, and it's gonna be a circle. So let's hit apply and check the size of our wheel. So the size is, let me check, it's 186. So we need to basically do half of it. So that's going to be the radius of this wheel, and also not just half, but even more. So we basically don't leave any space between the platform and our wheel. It will just be something like we want to have that hitbox something like this, right? So it should go a little bit inside of our wheel. Okay. So I think we just remove 100 pixels, and the radius, we leave the radius as 86. Okay. We also want to make our wheel a little bit heavier, so I'll put density to 5. And friction, so will it slide on the platform, or will it grab it very well, right? So the bigger the number is, the less will be, you will have this like a sliding effect or a slippery effect, you know. So one should work well because we have rubber wheels, right? So that should be fine. And hit apply. Okay, so what will happen now? We just have these two objects separate, but you know, they kind of start to interact with each other. Okay. The same thing we need to do here. So let's just go here and add physics engine, still circle, radius, same radius, friction to 1 as well, but the density I want it to be double than my front wheel, because when we will this will add a little bit of weight to the back of the car. Okay, so let's put 10 here. Hit apply, and obviously now this will happen. You know, our car body is on top of our wheels, but they are not attached in any way, but they start to interact with each other like that. Okay, cool. So let's attach them. So let's just go here, and at the beginning of the scene we will add some joints. So we will basically attach the wheels to our car body. So at the beginning of the scene, let's choose front wheel, type wheel here, and add wheel joint. Okay, so, and we have this long list of things that we can do, that we should set up. So it's the anchor. So we need to anchor those objects between each other. So the first anchor we're gonna take is our wheel. So front wheel X. So this will pick the central point of our wheel. Copy and paste, and front wheel Y. So that's gonna be the first anchor, and we should anchor it to our second object, which is car body. And we need to specify where exactly, right? And you remember we created those points for the wheels, so this is exactly the place where we are using those. So car body point X, and point is front wheel. And same thing we just do here, car body point Y, front wheel. Okay. So let's leave everything else as it is and just hit OK. So as you can imagine, we need to do the same thing for the back wheel. So I just copy and paste this whole thing, and I select back wheel, add wheel joint. So this is the same. So no, this is where we need to change it. So not front wheel, but back wheel at this time. I'll just copy this part of the text, and front wheel we change to back wheel, and it should be attached to the car body. So this is the same thing that stays there. So car body, and point is not front wheel but the back wheel. Back wheel here and back wheel there. So what we did here, we basically attached the center of our wheel to the point of our car body, which we specified earlier. So you remember these points, right? So edit points, front wheel and back wheel. So this is where we attached our wheels, so here and here. And how does that look? We'll check now. That is how it looks. So cool, we actually attached our wheels to our car. You know, and if we try to just place our car somewhere here, we should see our car moving. Just like that, because physics is working here. Alright. Cool. So now we need to start to actually move the car by our arrow keys and keyboard. You know, we can make it jump and do all sorts of really fun stuff. So let me move this back. The first thing we need to do is to set up a group, because you might have different platforms and we don't want to create these conditions for each platform, each new platform we create. So in order to just do it once, we just need to create a group here. And I call it, sorry, I need to rename it. And I call it platforms. Yes. Platforms, as simple as that. And what we add to this group, everything that our wheels can touch and interact with. So first thing I want to add is a platform. And I have this, just for fun, I've created these objects here, box. So we want our, car interact with this as well. So box, apply. But imagine you have different platforms. You want them, like, they do different things, but still you want them to be as, platforms that you can ride on. Okay. So we also need to think about which one is the wheel that will actually drive the whole car. It could be the front wheel, it could be the back wheel, it could be both. In this case, I will just use the front wheel. So let's imagine that our engine is in the front of the car. So this is the wheel which will make everything move. Okay. So if we go to our conditions and events, I'll just create a new one. So new condition, and we'll say that our front wheel is in collision. And be careful here, so collision shouldn't be this one, because this one is normal collision between sprites. This is collision between physics objects. Okay, so we choose this one, collision with platforms. So this group, any platform we'll put in this group will do the same actions. So if our front wheel is in collision with platform, now we need to create some sub-condition for this. So the first one we're going to create is like pressing our arrow keys. So key pressed, let's say left. So that's where the car goes back. And what we should change here. So we need to play with our linear velocity. So there are many ways you can actually move the wheels, but I will use the simplest one, and probably there are better ways to do it, but this works, and I'll just show you that. So linear velocity x, so on the x-axis, we subtract, let's say 50. So if I click play now, our car starts to move back, and when I press left key. As you can imagine, we can do the same thing here. So for the right key, so key pressed, we just change it to right. Okay. And in this case, we add. So add 100. So it will go forward faster than it goes back. Okay, so now we can actually test this. So you see, we can go forward. I'm pressing the left key so we can stop our car, and now it goes back. Okay. So, and it goes faster and faster and faster because we add values. Okay. And it just does that when our front wheel is touching the ground. It doesn't do it just in the air. Okay. So that's cool. The other thing we want to do is actually to be able to jump, maybe. So because just now it doesn't do much. It just go back and forward, but you cannot control the car in the air. You cannot jump obstacles and things like that. So let's make our car jump as well. Let's choose a key for that. So key pressed. I'll choose space. And this should trigger once. So if we hold it, it will not just do it for infinite times. It just do it once. And what we need to change here, we change the linear velocity of our car body. So that's what we're gonna create our jump effect. And the linear velocity y, because we want to jump up, obviously. And we set it to minus 1500, something like that. So the negative value will go up, the positive will go down, right? So that's why we have minus here. Okay, and let's see if we can actually jump. Yes, we can. See? But we cannot control what happens with our car. It went back because our back wheel is heavier than the front wheel, right? So let me play it again. And if we go forward and try to jump, this is what happens. You cannot control your car in the air, and that kind of sucks. Okay, so in order to control your car in the air, we'll just need a new main condition and copy and paste this here and invert condition. So that means when our front wheel is not in collision with our platforms, so that means when it's in the air, then we create some more subconditions here. Okay, so and then again we press left and right key, so key pressed, left. Okay, and what will happen, we want to be able to move our car in the air to the direction we want to adjust the angle. So we will pick our car body and search for angular velocity, and we say that we subtract 3, right? So this is the speed on which we can turn our car in the air. Okay, same thing, we just copy and paste this, change this key to the right, and we, in this case, we add 3. So it will move, it will change the angle of our car in the air to the right side. Okay, so let me play this and see how that works. So I'm pressing forward, you see I adjusted the angle of my car. So if I jump, okay, you see I can adjust it a little bit. So now we can actually control what's happening with our car in the air. And this is more fun in actual game because you can actually adjust based on what's going on. So yeah, that's working, and that's cool. Like almost everything is now working. It was super easy, I would say. We just put a few conditions here. I just wanted to put some nice things here just to make this level a little bit more fun. I want to make sure that if we fall, we can actually restart the level. So I created this just small box, which I called restart level. It's just a red box. And I'll just resize it and put it like everywhere under my platforms. So something like this, I just copy paste. Okay. And I make sure at the beginning of the scene I just hide it. So restart level, hide. Hide it, and we add a new event, and condition is gonna be car body is in collision, this time is this collision with restart level. We then pause, start a new scene, and we start the new scene. Okay, so now if I fall from my platform like that, we just restart the game. Okay. Another thing I want to do here is actually have a button to restart my game, because imagine if I am stuck somewhere here, I want to restart it. So I'll just you know, create a new layer, add a layer, and I call it UI. and I add this button here, right in the corner, and I send it to UI layer. And now let's add the conditions to click on it, right? So when restart, mouse is on that, over that object, yeah. And if we mouse or touch released, not clicked but released, because I want to make sure if user clicked, maybe he doesn't want to restart the level, he just clicked in it, so he can move the mouse away and release the key and nothing will happen. So left primary key is released, trigger once. Let's make sure to put that. We do the same thing, so we just copy here, copy and paste. So now if I play and I want to restart the level, I just click here, right? So I clicked and I release and it restarts, okay? So that's another thing. And just as a last pretty cool thing to add, we will just add some lights to our car. And the way we're gonna do it, we're gonna use this new light object that is in GDevelop. I'm not gonna use dynamic shadows for this stuff. I just want to make lights glow. Okay, so I choose light, and I call it front light. And the front light is gonna be kind of very bright, kind of yellowish, just like that. Radius, I put like 80 maybe, so that's gonna be cool. Front light, and I create a backlight as well. So I call it backlight. I want it to be red, okay, something like that. Radius 50 is fine, it's gonna be smaller. Apply. So we created these two lights. Okay. Once you've done that, obviously there is automatically a lighting layer created. Okay, and our ambient color is set to something like gray, right? So if you play now the game, it's gonna be everything kind of dark. Okay. For this example, I don't care it to be dark. I just put it to white again. Okay. And if I place this front light here and backlight here, I actually want them to be not on the lighting layer, but on my base layer. I just want them to be on top of my car, so base layer, okay? Obviously now they're not attached in any way to anything. But as you remember, I created some points here, so backlight and front light, just the way we did it for the wheels. So I will attach the backlight here. You see there is a point here, and the front light here is a front light here. There's a point for it. So yeah, same thing. We just say in this condition where it says always, we change the position of our backlight position. Of an object, and we say that it should be always in the position of my car body, point X, and the point is backlight. Okay. Do the same for the Y. So Y position is point Y, backlight. Okay. And the same thing we do for front light. So I just copy paste here and change this backlight to front light, and it's gonna be attached to car body X, point X, but this time is a front light. Front light here and front light there. Press OK. And now if we run the scene, we have our car with these lights attached to the right points. We can jump, we can adjust our car. This feels very, very fun. Oops. Alright, have to be careful there. Let's jump, cool. And yeah, this is all working. And yeah, I hope this was fun and useful. So there are many other things you can do with physics. You can play with all the values here. You know, it's very fun. I hope you kind of understand the logic behind these things and how you can create some more cool stuff with it. And if you like this video, you know, please subscribe, follow me on Twitter, join my Discord server, and yeah, see you next time for another video. Thanks for watching.